Hey, Glenn. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're going to talk about Sinners tonight. Sinners, the movie. That's going to be the discussion. Hey, Kim. I'm doing wonderful, Glenn. How are you? I'd be doing better if our air conditioner on this side of the house was behaving properly. We just had its service not too long ago, and I feel like it's cutting up again. So I have to call those people. It's too hot for all of these shenanigans, especially when you. I know a lady like me is going through the change. Sure, Glenn, you're free and welcome to follow. Free and welcome to follow. Good evening, Kiera. Good evening. Put that one up there like that. I took my notes of the movie. Let me get the panel area set up properly. Hold on. Because we're going to have guests this evening. We're going to have guests this evening. Hey, Lori, how are you, beautiful? And of course, we're going to talk about tonight, sinners. And so I'm opening up I'll give us a few more minutes and we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to go and say off the top, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to just start with that before we get to the detailed discussions of the movie. Good Saturday afternoon. But I have to say, I felt like it was a very well done movie. The casting was great. I just love the movie. I thought it was a really good movie. So overall, I want to say that. Hey, Dre. Good afternoon. Good evening. Look, I'm so used to coming on at 5 o'clock. I'm still in my afternoon time frame, and it's nighttime. Hey, Trail. Hey, Trail. So first, let's start off and say, like I said, I felt like Sinners was a great movie, and the panel is open. So if you want to come up and chat about it as well, you're free and welcome to. If you just want to comment inside of the chat, you can. That's your choice as well. So I want to say from the very beginning of the movie, before it even got into anything, like I've gone out of my way not to really know much about the movie, not get to any spoilers or anything, like even since it came out, because I knew at some point I wanted to see it, but I didn't want to come into it knowing too much, right? Because it could take away from movies, right? So anyway, from the very beginning with the opening, the first thing I saw, I was looking at it like, okay, music is sacred. Okay? Music is sacred. I didn't know if it was a vampire movie or a zombie movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I knew it was a horror movie, but I didn't know. Hey, Seventh Wonder, good evening. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want any spoilers, this might not be the discussion for you tonight, because I know we're going to discuss details of the movie. But I want to say, only thing I did know was I thought it was either zombies or vampires. That's all I kind of knew. And I was like, okay, all right, okay, I'll check this out. Because I like the cast. So that was intriguing to me, because the people that were cast in this movie don't tend to do movies like that. So look, you saw Mother's Day. Yeah, I hadn't seen it. So from the very beginning, I thought music is seen as sacred. That was the very first message that I got from the opening. Before you even before he even arrives at the church, right? That's the very first message I received, that music is sacred. Music is a bridge between life and death. So you have to be careful with things like music. So that was the first message that I got watching it right out the gate, right? So as we go into that. So yes, Michael B. Jordan, outstanding in this movie. We're talking about the movie Sinners, Daisy. So so something I saw early on was the symbolism of the red versus blue. Like I saw red as evil and the blue as good. That's how I was seeing it. I don't know if that's what they were attempting to portray, but that's how I saw it. Hey, Corey, good evening. Hey, handsome. So I saw it as, red is evil or bad or to be wary of, and blue is good or patient, intentional, strategic. That's how I looked at the twins, right? That's how I looked at the smokestack twins, right? The twin in blue, who is that? That's Smoke. I saw Smoke as being more of the uh, uh, um, the intentional one. He's more strategic, but Stack was more impulsive, can be more emotional. That's how I saw it. Hey, that's how I saw it. So as I'm watching this movie, I'm going, okay, I see them. Now I'm gonna tell you, as soon as I saw Michael B. Jordan's characters show up, I'm confused because I'm going, wait a minute. Okay, so we got these. Okay, he's playing two characters. Okay. All right, let me wrap my head around that, right? Because I know only one of this guy exists. So I'm going to be honest, it took me a minute to wrap my mind around that. Then once I wrapped my mind around it, I went, okay, what's the symbolism here without trying to get too caught up in that and still enjoy the movie, because you try to look for all those hidden messages versus just enjoy the damn movie. So like I said, I saw the blue as good and the red as conflicted, as bad, right? And so we saw, to me, this movie had a lot of symbolism. It was kind of like Get Out. Did y'all have that feeling? It gave me like the Get Out feeling in many ways, Yeah, and I haven't watched it twice yet, Lori. I need to watch it again, but it gave me that Get Out feeling. Like there's so much symbolism in this movie that I'm going to have to see this movie more than a couple of times to really catch the messages, because there were a couple of messages that there were a lot of things. Okay, let me focus on my yes, especially once the vampires show up. So like you notice like it's a segregated town. Like there's clearly a hierarchy, right? There's clearly a hierarchy in this town. And it's race related, right? Okay. So then these brothers come back and they want to use their influence, which is their money, as the X factor, right? To allow them to do whatever they want to do in this town. And they open up this juke joint, right? I do like that the entire movie is all centered around showing you how they get to the main event that's going to happen that evening. I appreciate that. I appreciate that they took the time. It wasn't just it kind of reminded me of From Dusk Till Dawn in that way. You know how From Dusk Till Dawn, it takes the time to set it up, allows you to get to know characters, get to know what's going on in all of their dimensions in their worlds. And then once it does that, it puts them in the environment, or it starts to reveal the truth of what's really happening. But at that point, you're already connected to the characters. That's how I felt about this movie too. I felt that same thing. Yeah, that coming back from Chicago and the whole mob thing. And it was like, okay, all right, cool. So they're in this town and they decide, hey, we're going to open up this juke joint, and they start recruiting everybody from different portions of, of the community. Delta Slim, played by Delroy Lindo, who was outstanding. I love me some Delroy Lindo. That's Cat Daddy right there. That's Cat Daddy right there. So he was really good as Delta Slim. Now, he also was recruiting, hold on, because I didn't remember to catch her name in the way that I should have. Hold on, let me go get a cast list because I never even wrote her name down because I was still writing down other names. Hold on, let me see. Annie, the young woman who played Annie. She was really good too. I mean, everybody was good in this movie. Everybody was good in this movie. So anyway, so I see that it's a segregated town. I want to stop and do a quick segue real quick. Hey, Wendy. Hey, beautiful. Can I just say that scene between Michael B. Jordan's, between Smoke and Annie, what they say? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When she was like, your body remembers me. Listen, Linda. I was like, okay, all right. I'm really liking this as this continues. So I was like, okay, all right. So I like that we got some back information. Like they had a relationship. They had this child that didn't make it. So while they had this bond and this connection, they also at the same time there was this separation due to this trauma that had happened in the relationship. I did more than blush, honey. Yeah, and she was the medicine woman. I love the symbolism of that. And her prayers, her spells kept him safe, kept him and his brother safe. You know what I mean? She was keeping them safe without them even realizing that she was helping to keep them safe. Realized it was a lost child. Yeah, I can see that. It took me a minute too because I was like, okay, who are they talking about? But then when she was there, and as soon as she started speaking to him, I said, okay, there used to be an item. I can tell by how they're speaking to each other. Okay, that must be their child. Okay, got it. So it took me a minute too to make those connections because they didn't instantly want to make those connections. Talk about it. I'm trying to see if you were requesting to come up or not. But I wasn't sure if they were really gonna, talk about it, but they did. And like I said, it became this wall that became between us, right? So I'm gonna tell you a couple things, a couple messages I got in this. That first of all, Mary, the symbolism of Mary, it took me back to Imitation of Life. When Mary is passing, right? Mary is able to travel between two worlds, right? She's able to travel in the white world and she's able to travel in the black world. And she's able to be in both of those worlds, essentially, honestly, without any interruption. Because as long as both worlds, the black world doesn't, they understand that she is integrated into that other world. They understand that, right? But that other world that she's in, that white world that she's assimilated into, that she's flying under the radar in, right? They can't know about who she is. And my thing is, as soon as I saw again, I didn't know much about this movie, except I'm thinking it's vampires or zombies. As soon as I saw her, I said, oh, that's a black woman. Listen, she looking like some cousins I got. I'm like, huh? So to me, there was some symbolism in that. Her ability to cross between both worlds, and think about it. Her ability to cross between both worlds was also the thing that allowed them to get in. It was all because she wouldn't live in her truth, because she was trying to be two different people instead of being who she really was. You understand? And due to her inability to live in her truth, she ended up being the very vessel that brought it in. She was because they allowed her to step in and out of the community. Look what happened. Look what she brought with her when she came back. That I saw that symbolism too. To me, it was some symbolism in that. Yeah, that's how I saw it too, Kiera. I was like, oh, okay. I see. Yep, she was straddling that fence. And it was like, there's a consequence for that. There's a consequence for that. Then when I saw, when Stat kept pushing her away in the beginning for her to be safe, saying you can be safe but not with me, like understanding that there is no way for you to be both things. You have to choose. And if the life that you are choosing, right, is to be a part of that world with your white husband and your white life, you can't keep coming back here. You understand? That seemed like to me what he was making clear, like, yo, you can't keep coming back here. Because it's everything that we worked hard for to put you in the position that you're in, you're going to lose all of that because you keep coming back here. But she was torn between living in her truth and living her lie because she wasn't happy living the lie. She wasn't happy living the lie. Okay, I don't know what Ernie's talking about. I had to let Ernie go. Same with the vampire who first shows up. Yep, same thing. It was that exact same thing. Yep, the exact same thing. Their hatred, they're straddling the fence too. You know, put them in a position where they let somebody in. Yeah, as long as that person looked like them, they were willing to let down their guard. And in doing that, they wouldn't listen to the Native Americans when they showed up to say, listen, you have somebody in your house that should not be there. He's not good for you. But they couldn't and wouldn't listen. Their bias wouldn't allow them to do so. Their bias just would not allow them to do so. Yep, wouldn't listen to them telling them they're in danger. So it was like, again, their ignorance, their bias, their prejudice, their racism, all of those things put them in harm's way. So then they got again. That scene where the character Pearline is no, not when Pearline is singing. When Sammy is singing in the juke joint and everybody's grooving and stuff to his stuff, and then they start showing the different genres of music. Oh, that was beautiful. That I thought was so very well done. I said, ooh, and the connections to the motherland and the connections to not just to the motherland, all different types of cultures, continents, genres, generations. I thought that was really cool how they put that together. To say when you tap into, when you have really great music, it taps into all of that other stuff without you even realizing it. But it's that great music is that powerful. It taps into things. It awakens great things, but it can awaken bad things, which I think is extremely accurate when you think about it. That's the thing. I felt it was like it was a metaphor, you know, but it's true. Music is that. It is a gateway to either something really, really good, or it can be a gateway to something really bad. It can be actually either or. Oh, I love that. No, because, yeah, I love that. Was cute. Yeah. So the power of the music, I thought, was awesome because music was seen as healing. Because I'm looking at a note I have here. Music is seen as healing because it taps into another dimension. And again, Sammy was warned by his father before he left. Listen. You can't keep doing that and getting close with the devil, because what did he say? You're gonna bring it home one day. Dad told him, like, but I think it goes back to that music, right? Dad looked at the music as a gateway, because music again can attract good things, but it can also attract bad things. Oh yes, Sammy. I love the scenes with Sammy singing. Oh, the voice was just beautiful. His voice is beautiful. He really has a really nice voice. That young man, what is his name? Miles Caton. He's really good on screen. He's really good. I've never seen him in anything else before, so it was my first time seeing him in anything. So, but he was really good. I enjoyed him a lot on screen. I'm like, okay, I would like to see this young man do other things as he continues his career, because he's really good on screen. So I liked him. Yep. The vampire did say that he wanted Sammy to bring the ancestors forward, because Sammy was the bridge to connect everything. Sammy's music, the way he played guitar, all of those things could tap into everything and awaken everything that evil wanted access to. Could awaken everything that evil wanted access to, but unfortunately couldn't get access to. You know, so that's, again, and that one, I would say, okay, symbolism. Also, I saw music is seen as a distraction, because it can be also used to tame you, make you docile. You know what I mean? It can be used to make you fall in line. You're so excited, you're so focused on singing and dancing that you ain't even paying attention to what's happening around you. It's something to lure you into things sometimes that isn't good for you. I saw that too, because it was interesting how they would use music sometimes. Well, music a lot of times to lure people in, because people are hearing these sounds. They sound good to them. They want to go and explore and see what's going on. So the vampires use that to their advantage, which I thought was interesting too. It was like, okay, they're going to suck you in. They're going to suck you in with the beautiful sound of music. Oh, and that was his first movie. I could not tell. He was really good in that movie. He was good. He was good. It's kind of like, what's the guy's name? Y'all know the guy's name. Hold up, I gotta look up his name. Because if I don't look up his name, it's gonna bother me. John Boyega. It was like when I saw John Boyega in Attack the Block. That was his first movie. I was like, this guy, he's really good on screen. He's gonna have a nice, career. Smokestack used music to cover up something, the first guy. He did. He absolutely did use music for that. Yep. He absolutely did use music for that. Yeah, music was seen as different things. Music could be healing. Music could be a distraction. Music could be a trap. Music could be used to tame you, to put you in a trance. Like, there was many different uses for music. That's why you had to be careful. Like, you almost had to be responsible when you made music. You had to be responsible, because depending on what it was that you were creating with your music, that could be a good thing or that could be a bad thing. So I thought that was an interesting approach as well. I'll say it like that. I thought that was interesting. I'm trying to look. I'm going. Looking to see. Yeah, I'm just like different frequencies. Yep. And you're right. That's how music is. Depending on the frequency, depending on the setup, the production, how things are done, music can have a different feel, right? And trigger something in you that maybe you didn't even know you had, but you heard something and it triggered something. I felt like the music, depending on the frequency of the music they were doing, they were having so much fun. It drew in the vampires. The vampires, when they heard Sammy sing, they heard something so sweet, so wonderful, and they knew it was so powerful. They wanted it. He wanted it for himself. You know what I mean? The main guy, which in turn wanted all the rest of them to want it, right? But he wanted him for himself because that voice and that guitar was sweeter than anything he had ever heard before. You know what I mean? Because of the way they were able to lure in the people and how much fun they were having and all the dancing. And again, like I said, spanning different generations, different continents and cultures, all those things. So they wanted Sammy to be able to do that same action for, you know, the vampires or whatever. Now, what I also found interesting was they couldn't, you had to make a choice. I'll say it like that. You had to make a choice. Nobody ruined your life. You had to let them in. You know what I mean? Even if you knew what they were, you had to make a choice. They still couldn't just do whatever they wanted to do with you. You had to make a choice. You had to be the person in the driver's seat to say, yes. Now, once you let them in, oh, it was on and popping. But until you let them in, you were in control. So I found that interesting too. That one, the dead can't just come inside. You know, people, you know, vampires, you know, because they're not technically the living. They can't come in until you let them in. What else? I feel like cornbread scared me so bad. I jumped. Oh, why? What, on which particular part? You mean when they were when he came back from using the restroom from the bathroom, and they were talking to him, and he was trying to get him to let him in the door, and when he grabbed him, talking about that part, because that was crazy. I didn't expect that. That got me. Yeah, because it was when he grabbed him that got me. Yeah, I've heard that saying too. Be careful, you'll let the devil in. I've heard that. But it was interesting to me because it was like evil never just took them. They had to invite it in. They had to say, okay, I'm going to allow this to be in my life. So essentially, whatever happens, it's on you because nobody did anything to you. You did it to you technically, which I found that was very interesting as well. It was like, okay, that's different. That's a different way to go about this. I just thought the whole movie was just done really, really well. That's how I felt. I just felt like the movie was done really, really well. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, Cornbread was. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go, but he needed money. He needed money. That was the catalyst to go. It was money. And he was going to make more money than he was ever going to be able to make out there in them fields picking cotton. And so, you know. But yeah. I was sad that he didn't. I was sad about Perlene too. I was sad about Perlene because I was like, oh, she was just, well, Perlene was out there, let's be honest. Miss Perlene was out there, okay? Oh, she was. She was. That's why I said, I'm going to be honest. Miss Perlene was out there. She was out there. But she was trying to redeem herself a little bit by helping to take out some vampires, though. Well, Miss Girl was out there. I was like, wait a minute. Now, hold up. And honestly, for a second, I thought she was a vampire. When they were eating the garlic stuff, I thought for a second she was a vampire. Because I was like, why is she being so resistant about eating this damn garlic? Girl, we trying to figure out who's who so we can know if we safe up in here, girl. We don't have time for no mess. You know? And then when it showed that she wasn't, I was like, okay. But Smoke, or was it Stack, called her a good... Oh, I don't remember. It was one of the brothers, but I don't remember if it was Smoke or Stack that called her a good woman. They sure did. One of them did. Okay, no problem living life. Hold on for a second. I'm going to turn this fan off. Hold on for a second, you guys. Well, I didn't turn it off. I'm turning it off me because that constant air blowing on me is making me sleepy. Because I'm going to be here to about, I would say about 10:30. I'm going to wrap it up about 10:30. Because I usually would be laying in bed right about now looking at space videos. Y'all know my ass is old. Talking about cornbread's wife. Wasn't that... Okay, when he went to go see... Ooh. Dang, I want to say that it was Stack who said that, but I could be wrong. It could have been Smoke. It could have been Smoke who said that. Hey, JK. I was shipping her with Sammy, and then I remembered that. Right, you know, I remembered. The whole time I was remembering, I was like, girl, what is we doing, girl? What is happening? Perlene was like, listen. She was like Luther, if only for one night. Except she died. Sorry, Perlene girl. Sorry, Perlene girl. She did all of that. He must have had the ill no because she died for it. Like, girl, she was willing to die for it, honey. You heard me. I'm like, okay, all right. That was different. That was different. I was like, I don't know about all that. When they say, I don't know about all that. But, you know, the symbolism in that, I like that. That, again, if you let evil inside to your life, that's the symbolism that I saw. If you let evil inside, you can't be surprised by what happens once you do that. Yes, Cassie, the ill nana. Because keep in mind, even once all that happened, remember, when Mary got let in by Cornbread, right? And she came back after she got from talking to those vampires, right? And remember, Mary came in. And then Mary was back in there in the back with Stack, right? And they were carrying on back there, right? And when she killed, oh, well, I don't want to say it like that. When she unalived him, right? And then the brother comes in. I'm trying to think about where I'm trying to take this to because I'm looking at a note at the same time and it threw me off. Dang it. I hate when that happens. Yeah, and Stack did die for it too. I mean, again, I hope she had the ill nana. I just hope it was worth it. I'm like, you went out like that. Like, he went out like that. So, hopefully it was worth it. I mean, that's the only thing I could think. That it was worth it. Because if it wasn't worth it, well, you know, sucks to be you literally. If it wasn't worth it. If it wasn't worth it. But yeah, so when Mary came back and then they bust open the door and then Mary was chomping on Stack. Pearline could have left then. When they said the party's over, everybody got to leave, but she didn't go home. Remember? She didn't go home. She stayed there. Chill. That was her time to exit then. Pearline was like, I'm ride or die. Yeah, I just met him. So what? I'm willing to risk it all. Like, huh? Huh? You've got to be kidding me. Stack didn't die. Yeah, oh, I know Stack didn't die. I know he didn't. I watched all the way to the end. I watched all the way to the end. And I even watched after the credits to see Miles Canton do more singing and playing of guitar. I watched all the way to the end. So, yeah. So I did see that he didn't die. He didn't die and Mary didn't die. So they're both very much alive, very much having the time of their lives, living their best life, you know, looking for more victims, you know. And I guess that's going to come from the music industry, you know, entertainment. She wanted to live a few moments longer. Which one are you talking about? I believe it was one of the twins got Pearline. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Stack? It had to be Stack, right? That took out Pearline. Because Stack was attacking Sammy at first. And then she called herself trying to, you know, she called herself helping Sammy. Oh, it was Remick? Which one was that? Who was Remick? Oh, she was fighting him. Okay. So Remick killed her. Got it. Okay, that's right. Remick was attacking Sammy. And then she helped Sammy. And then Remick got her. And then Pearline became a vampire, too. Right. Because of Remick. Right. Because she was outside screaming and hollering, too, when they were, towards the end, when they was outside in that water, when he smacked dude in the head with that guitar. Chill. Hey, you know what? He almost looked like one of those creatures, one of those centaurs. What do you call them? The centaur? I forget what they call them. From Hellraiser. Almost was looking like one of those. That's what it seemed like to me. But I thought, you know, I thought the cast was just really, really good. All of the cast was great. It was a really good cast. Right, and she died with all of them in the sunrise. And Grace never became a vampire. She passed while she was taking out a vampire. Because didn't she burn? The burning was to imply like she burned as a human. She never became a vampire. Okay, that's how I interpreted that too. I was like, okay, I don't think she ever turned. I just think that she... Okay. I'm just want to make sure that I caught that. Because I was like, okay, I don't think she actually really turned. I think that she just is... she's taking out a vampire. Okay, that's what I thought. You know what I did want to see? I wanted to know what was going to happen with their daughter. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah, Grace did invite the vampires in. Yeah, it was Grace. because she invited them in because she wanted to keep them away from her daughter. That was the whole goal. Keep them away from my daughter. Because she knew that her daughter, she had no way of telling her daughter that her father wasn't really her father anymore. And I think that was her way of trying to protect her child. Yeah, so she was just like, forget it. I'll just fight these fuckers myself. And I think that was her mindset. Yeah, she was thinking about her daughter. If her daughter wasn't a factor, she never would have said, you can, let them in. Or you can come in. She never would have said it. It was all to draw them away from going to her daughter. Because think about it. She had no way to tell her daughter that daddy wasn't really daddy when he came back. So the daughter was guaranteed to get got. Guaranteed. So, I got why Grace did it, even though I didn't agree with it. Living Life, are you ready to come on up to talk about it? I just wanted to make sure, so I didn't just throw you in. But yeah, so I get why Grace did it. Okay, let me get you. And Dion, I saw you were asking as well. Let me know if you wanted to. Okay, there
Hello.
you go, sweetheart. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I thought I missed you. I didn't know when you said 6 o'clock. I didn't know if you meant like Eastern or West.
No,
You
9
said
o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I was just a
yeah,
couple minutes. I was a little late past 9 though.
yeah. Now I jumped in because you was talking about Grace. I cannot stand Grace in that movie.
Really?
I
Why
could
didn't you
not.
like Grace?
Oh, because I just got the feeling like let me know if it's too loud because I'm outside.
No, you're fine.
Um, I just got the feeling that like because I think her husband grew up with smoking stack, right? I
Okay,
think they
right,
were friends,
right.
and when everything started to go bad at the juke at the juke joint,
Mm-hmm.
she kind of just like, this is not our fight. Let's go. So
Ah,
it
she
was
did
like
say
she
let's go.
wasn't,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like she wasn't there with them on the friend aspect of things. It was just like about them. Like, and
Well,
I don't want this to come
technically
out
they're
the
not
wrong.
her friends though. They're her husband's friends technically.
I know that though, but then it's
You
just like,
know.
okay, you was fine with the partying and everything, but then when stuff hit the fan, oh, let's just go. And then
Oh
she
yeah.
sent him out. And then it's just like, y'all should have just left together if that was the case. Because then since she sent her husband out, he got turned. Now
Yep.
it's, oh, my daughter, my daughter. Then it became about her because now she's affected. But when everybody
Yep.
else was getting affected, she didn't want no
She
part
didn't
of it.
care. Yeah, you're right. She
Yeah.
didn't care. And then she sacrificed everybody else
Yeah. For
because
her
she was
own
she was trying to
selfish.
save her daughter. Yep.
Yeah.
She
And
did
so
it for
that's why she
herself.
she kind of pissed me off because it was like when it was affecting other people, you didn't want nothing to do with it. But now that is affecting you, now it's oh, we got to do this, my daughter, and yeah, so that's why she kind of pissed me off in that.
Ah, okay, no, that makes sense. Hey, Miss Parker, good evening, beautiful. No, that makes sense because now that you pointed out, great again, Grace let all of them in. Grace, she kind of really didn't. Well, she really didn't want to do it. She just did it because of the money. It was all money motivated. Why she was even there. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been there at all. Like to your point, it was her husband's friends. He would have been there regardless. You know what I mean? Because they have friends of his. But her, she wanted that money. So she made it her business to be there for that money. But then as soon as the stuff started going down, she wanted to be like, oh, I'm out of here. Let's get out of here. But then your husband goes out alone, and then it was a wrap at that point. I just thought the fact that they could turn so fast, it was like once you get bit, it's no time before you have turned and it's a wrap. So that had me like, oh goodness, you know. So I'm like, but again, I think that this movie is absolutely fabulous, but I know I gotta watch it again because it was so many things where I was like, wait a minute. I think I missed something right there. I'll have to watch it again. Like I said, it's just like Get Out for me. Get Out was like that. Get Out was one of those movies I've had to watch multiple times to get the symbolism. Get Out, and what's the other one? You know, with Niping, Lupita Nyong'o. I never say her name correctly. The one where you have a doppelganger. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That movie. Us. Us is another one you got to watch more than once. Yes, I do feel like the vultures were symbolism because when they first got there and the vultures were flying around, I just assumed somebody was already in there dead. But when you think about it, it was somebody in there dead. The vampire. That's why the vultures were over the house carrying on like that, because they had let the vampire in and the vampire is dead, and vultures are scavengers. They love dead shit. That's how I saw it. That's how I saw it. Because those birds were not vampires. They were just scavengers chasing that smell.
That was my take on the vultures too.
Yeah.
They were just like following them.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. But I did notice them, and I was like, "That's weird. That must mean something." Honestly, I thought the vultures was there because those people were already dead in that house. That's what I thought. So I thought when the people knocked on the door that they were, the door was going to just come open on its own because it wasn't really closed, and the guy already, took. That's what I thought was going to happen. But then when something else different happened, it was like, okay. But now thinking about it, vampires are dead. That's why the vultures was there.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
yeah.
Did you get the connection of why the Choctaw? I think that's what they were that were chasing him in the beginning. Like, I just wanted to know like that backstory. I didn't couldn't really put that one together.
When they were chasing
When they
him,
were
yeah, because I
Remick.
think
Yeah.
they were trying to kill him then, so that he wouldn't turn anybody else and take over anybody else. But those people had let him in and then lied about the fact that he was in there. Because remember, the wife
Hmm.
lied. She thought her husband was still alive while she was talking to those Native Americans. But no, he
Hmm.
had killed her husband while she talking to those people. And then when she go back there, she see her husband dead, he turning, and then he gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, because they wasn't gonna let him in at first, and then Remick saw the KKK robe,
Uh-huh.
and then he played on that, and then they ended
Yep.
up letting him in. So
Yep.
that's kind of how he got invited in that sense.
Yep, because he could identify a way to connect with them that
Hmm.
made them comfortable. He was able to, and again, that's more symbolism because again, just because something looked like it's good for you doesn't mean it is. A
Hmm.
lot of times things, people will get close to you claiming to be one thing when they're really something else. You got to be careful. That's how I saw the symbolism in that too. Everything isn't what it appears to be, and follow your instincts because they had doubts about it too. You could tell they was like,
Hmm.
huh, like who, but they still let him in anyway, regardless of that.
Yeah.
So, I felt like that was some of it too. Now, I got a question. Now, you remember that part when Cornbread came to the door and they were talking to him. And you remember when Michael B. Jordan's character dug in his pocket because he was going to give him, some money or whatever. And was it Delta Slim told him like be careful or whatever.
Hmm.
I thought that Michael B. Jordan's character was going to reach in his pocket and pull out those gold coins. Because I thought that those gold coins may have been in some way connecting them or almost like a beacon, like
Hmm.
GPS, like these are people that we need to get because we've already interacted with them. So now we just
Yes.
need to keep doing what but I don't know. But he didn't try to do that. So I'm still trying to understand I get when he told Mary this money is from a long time ago. I remember when he said that, but I'm feeling like it's something I'm missing, something else that I'm missing about the money that they were trying to communicate, or maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know.
I don't know on that part,
Yeah,
but
I'm not
but
sure, but that stood out to me.
my whole take too was all money ain't good money because everybody that went in it for the money, even though they had doubts at first, like what was the dude that was playing the oh my god, the drunk that was at the train station, I forgot his name.
Delta Slim.
Delta Slim, like Cornbread, all of them, they ended up getting off at the end because they did it for money, even though they had doubts or they didn't want to do it. Because
That's
Delta
true.
Slim was gonna play at the club he usually plays at,
That's
and they're
true.
like, we give you $20 and all the Irish beer you want.
Yeah,
So
his
it's just a
addictions, his alcoholism, and his addiction and the love of money was what
yeah.
sucked him into a situation. Had he just gone to the place that he always does on Saturday nights, he would have still been alive.
Mhm.
It was only because he chose to do something different. That's why he didn't make it.
Yep.
And I'm like, dang. And now that I think about it too, and the cherry on top being the Ku Klux Klan guy, the KKK guy,
Mhm.
being the one to like they know about the vampires. That's how I took it. Now maybe I'm wrong, but in the end, I felt like they knew too. And he sold that place to those people under the guise that the vampires would take care of the majority of them and then they could come back and pull up arrears and take the place back and rinse and repeat and do it. But maybe I'm wrong in that. But I saw
No.
it like they knew.
No, no. You know what they were doing in there? They were often black people in there.
I
That was
figured
like
they
their
were
little
doing
kill.
that in there.
They were doing
Okay.
that because remember when he went in there, he was talking about the floors, like
Right. I
what y'all
remember
been doing and
that.
stuff. And
Okay.
so I think like their plan was like, okay, yeah, we gonna make this money off these Negroes, and then we gonna come back and off them. Got the money, got the building back, and
Okay.
do
And
it
then we just
again.
got the place back. We just let him have
Yep.
it because he technically only would have had it for a night. Yeah, because that was really
Yes.
just one night, technically.
Yeah, that was all. The movie was basically like one day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I keep
Mhm.
forgetting that. It felt like a week, but it wasn't. They were
Mhm.
chronicling one whole 24-hour span into the next day when sunrise came about because basically they needed that sun to come up in order to be able to survive.
Yes.
As long as it was dark, they were a victim to vampires as long as it was dark. But I was I the only person laughing sometimes?
No, I was laughing.
Okay. I thought it was just me. Because sometimes I was laughing. I was like, they keep singing and dancing and shit. I feel like I'm watching a musical. Like, what is going on here? Like, I was enjoying it. But at the same time, I was like, okay, it's campy in these parts, but I like the campiness though.
Mhm.
I interpreted it as almost like the vampire saying, come on out and play with us. Don't you hear all our good music, all of us singing?
Oh,
We
I
having
love that
fun.
Irish dance scene. I love that Irish dance scene.
Oh
That was
man, that was
that was
hilarious.
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, is he about to break out into a dance number? No, not them singing along. Wait a minute. I was like, okay, I'm liking this because they're trying to draw these people out of this damn building any way they
Mhm.
can, but it wasn't working.
Yes.
Okay, other people saying, yeah, they stay late. Because I was wondering, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be laughing right here, but this shit is hilarious. When he went flying up off the ground when he was doing the Irish step
Mhm.
I said, wait a minute, bruh, he got some air on that. He should be in the NBA. I was like, what is going on? I enjoyed it was those little pieces of detail.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Let me make sure I said the right name. Yeah, Daisy. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was those little pieces of detail where it had me just like somebody said vampire minds and said yeah it was kind of like that they were like it was like a Broadway musical sometimes
Mhm.
That's how I felt. I was like, okay, now we singing and dancing. Wait a minute. Hold up. But I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, and then one thing too, back to when I was talking about like all money isn't good money. I can't
Hmm.
remember which one of the twins was more concerned about the money and letting the white people in. Um, because he kind of set it off too, because he sent Mary out there. Because remember, she was like, I can go talk to them
That's
and see what they
true.
want. Because he was looking at the money when the
That's
other brother
true.
was like, no, no, like basically we don't want them in here.
The other brother did say, don't let them in. He
Hmm.
did. And then when he went to the back to go, forgot what he went to go handle, but when he went to the back, you're right. That's when the other brother met with Mary,
Hmm.
and that's when she was like, I'm going to go talk. It had to be Stack. Stack met with Mary. It had to be
Okay,
her.
then it must have been stacked. Then. Yeah, I couldn't remember which brother name was which, but yeah. So so
I
that
only
kind of
remember that
started it too.
that it's him because when he gave her the pew pew, how intimate they were in
Hmm.
touching each other when that transaction happened. And I know she wouldn't do that with Blue. So I'm going, okay, yeah, it had to be Stack, but you're right. Stack was the one who told her or agreed with her about getting that
Hmm.
money. So going back and talking to those people and seeing if they had some real money, because if they
Hmm.
did, they were going to let them in. But it didn't matter. They didn't need to let them in because when Mary came out of there,
Yep.
she was vulnerable once she left the building.
And that was her white side because she was all up on them and she didn't even know them. Now, because
She
I was like,
was.
she is like real close, sitting next to them, and I'm like,
And trusting
yeah,
them. I'm like, you don't
yeah.
know these people from nothing. And my thing
Hmm.
was, when she walked up and they were singing, I was like, maybe it's just me, but if people were outside singing like that, that shit sound creepy to me. You
Yes.
know what I mean? It didn't sound like welcoming, and it seemed maybe, and maybe I don't know. I felt like sometimes when they would sing, their eyes would get darker.
Some of them had a shine. I think didn't it have a shine one time, like when she was
Sometimes
sitting
you
next
would
to
see a
him.
yeah. Sometimes you would see a
Hmm.
shine, but I noticed like something in the eyes would change a little bit. So I'm going, she don't see this stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Especially in that time too. It's like you guys have a juke joint, all black people, and then you have these three white people coming up
random,
singing, just random. And
out
then,
of
but then
nowhere.
that can plays into her, like we were saying, straddling the fence, trying to
You're
be
right.
in the both worlds. So she didn't see them as like a threat. She's just like, I'll be in this world, so let me go talk to these people.
And you're right because the black people there did.
Hmm.
They found it odd. Like,
Yeah.
who are these arbitrary white people on this
Hmm.
side of town walking
Yep.
around with these instruments just singing happy as hell in the middle of the damn night? It is kind of odd, but you're right. Mary was the one like, oh, y'all need the money. Let me go talk to him. Let me get him in here. You're right. And it came
Hmm.
from her being trusting because, again, she sees them as non threatening.
Yes.
I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah, because Mary was the gateway. She was the gateway ultimately because
Hmm.
she caused cornbread to get. Well, the reason why I say Mary caused cornbread to get got was because, well, when maybe she didn't cause cornbread. Cornbread just happened to go to the bathroom, and he got by proxy because he was
Yeah.
outside. He was gonna get got regardless of whether they got married or not. Once he went out of the building, he was vulnerable to, you know,
My thing
whatever.
was, why did he go so far? Because I was like, why did he
Yeah,
go that
that was
far?
odd.
That was,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he didn't need to go that far to go to the bathroom. So that
Hmm.
was odd. But I also know when he came back, that's the other thing that I noticed when people change or get bit and they change, they also change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like their temperament and
They were
even
like super
how.
happy.
Yeah, okay, I thought
Hmm.
it was me. I was like, okay, why they so damn extra happy? And I feel
Hmm.
like that means something too. because it's like, yeah, when it's too well, maybe what it is when it's too good to be true, it probably is,
Yeah.
and that's the lesson. Pay attention to the lesson. It's just so many messages in this movie. This is one of these movies you have to watch more than one time. I just don't know how somebody could watch this movie once and be like, oh, I figured out everything from watching it once. I just don't know how you could do that. Because there's so many little pieces. Like,
Hmm.
okay, why do you think Sammy never let go of the guitar? Because technically, Sammy didn't kill. He didn't get rid of the main vampire. Smoke did.
Hmm.
So why do you think? Because at first I was thinking Sammy didn't let go of the, like, before it gets to the point of like whoever takes out Remick or whatever. I was thinking, okay, once they started fighting that night, I said, okay, I guess little Sammy going to handle some people and use his guitar to do it, and that's why he gonna walk into church with that guitar. But he actually didn't take out that main guy with the guitar. So I felt like, part of me felt like Sammy feels like music saved his life, but then the other part of me goes, music didn't really save his life that night. I don't know. What did you think about the fact that he didn't let go of the guitar?
I never even like paid attention to that fact that he didn't let go.
Mmm.
So that'll be something when I watch it again. I'll have to, because before this was my second time watching it, so I'll probably
Gotcha.
have to watch it again. I didn't even think of that. I just
Yeah,
know at
I
that
found that
part it stood
odd.
out with me when Remick started quoting the scripture with him
Yes. And
and
they
stuff like
all
that.
were
Because you know
quoting
how
it.
yeah, because you know how they be like even the devil know the word. So that
Right.
kind of just brought that like it's like yeah you saying this but I know it too. So just on that.
And it bought him time. And then, Wendy, I
Hmm.
see, I did watch past the credits. I watched all the way through. I watched everything because I wanted to catch, just in case if it was something. And I was glad that it was plenty. You said the guitar was so connected to him. Okay, was that what it was? Okay, because I was wondering, because honestly, when his father kept saying put down the guitar, I thought he was gonna drop it. Like, oof, I survived. I got out of there. I'm never doing music again. I thought that's what I thought Sammy was gonna think, but it was the
Yeah,
opposite. He like leaned into it even
even
more,
more. Yeah,
which I had me like, huh. That's interesting because the connection that your art, your music has with all of these different dimensions and energies. So that's why I was still like, okay, so he still decided he was going to still keep doing music anyway. That's why I was wondering, like, I wonder why that's I'm sure all of that is supposed to mean something. I just don't know why Sammy didn't let go of music.
I have no idea because I thought like you like after that night like he was just like no I'm in the church where I need to be and then it flipped and it was like no he still went out and did his music.
Mm.
Um, because I don't know.
Yeah, listen, like I said, I'm gonna have to watch it again. I mean, it is a good movie, so I
Yeah, because what?
know that I'm gonna watch it again.
So what are your thoughts on because okay, which one died first? Stack, right? Well, turned into the vampire. I think it was Stack.
Stat, yeah, that was Stat.
Okay, so I'm thinking Smoke let Stack go, right? Because remember they were fighting.
Right, he
So
did.
he didn't kill him. So they were technically still in the juke joint in the morning. Mary and Stack. They had to have been. That's why they survived the sunlight,
Ah, right,
right?
because they
So
did,
I'm thinking
because it was
like,
daylight. Okay,
hmm So I'm thinking like, okay, did he make like Stack promise him to leave Sammy alone, to
that's
not
what he
try to turn
said.
him,
That's
to
what
let him
Sammy.
go, right?
That's what he
That's what he
told
said.
him. That's what he
Okay.
told Sammy. He said, "I promised Stack that I would leave you alone and
So I was thinking,
let
was
you
it that,
live."
or was it too as well because they killed Remick, so that like link that he had to all the vampires was like no longer there. Because I think if Remick was still alive, they still would have got Sammy because Remick would have been controlling them.
Could have been. Yeah, it could have been tried. It could have gotten. Yeah, because they couldn't have made a deal with Remick.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to. Yeah,
Yeah, they wouldn't have made it. The only reason he was able to make a deal with him is just because they were brothers, and
yeah,
it was that love and that connection there that he was like, all right, I'll do you a solid and not mess with him. And I saw somebody say, I thought the end reveal with Buddy Guy being Sammy, I thought that was brilliant too. I was like,
hmm
oh, okay, you're bringing this all full circle. This is really good. And then I like the fact that even though Smoke hadn't turned him or hadn't tried to, he offered to. And even though Sammy was like, nah, I'm good, Smoke was still like, okay, I still love your music because it's something about what you do and how I feel when you do what you do. And I
hmm
respect that. And I love you and respect you. And I respect your decision. But we gonna continue on and keep doing what we've been doing. Kind of thing. That's how I interpreted that. Like me and Mary about to go do what we do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So like I had looked at some, you know how people they're trying to like decipher the movie.
Uh-huh.
And then one thing somebody said was like, because you know how they came back from Chicago, right? And they
Right.
came back with all this money and all this Irish beer. So
Yeah.
somebody said one was cool with the Italians, one was cool with the Irish, but they double crossed both of them, basically causing whatever massacre happened in the 30s in Chicago. And then they fled back south with the money and the beer. That's how they had all that Irish beer. And I
Oh.
was like, huh, I never didn't even think of that, but
No, they did know because I know why they're saying that. They're
hmm
saying that because that character Annie said that in the movie. Remember, Annie
oh,
said,
okay,
she
I must have
said,
missed that.
yeah, she said when y'all robbed both of them, y'all probably stole from both of them, and they think each other did it. And when they figure it out, you think that they not gonna figure it out. Remember, he said, "Oh, they not gonna figure it out." She said,
Mm.
"Yet."
Oh, see, I didn't even put that together.
I
Okay.
forgot she did say that to him. Like, y'all done did something. That's why y'all back because y'all done
Yeah,
robbed some people and
yeah,
then
because
put
where
it
y'all
on
got all
other
this money
people.
from? Yeah,
Right.
because where y'all get all this money from to buy this?
Ah. Oh, I forgot that part. Yeah, because she did say that. She did say that to them. And now, hold up. Okay, so who was it? You said it was the Irish, and who else was
I
fighting?
think the Italians. I think it was Italians.
Look, because it's so many like hidden messages. I just want to check something. I'm looking up something. Okay, and okay, I was just looking up something. So during that time frame in the 30s, there were a lot of tensions between those two
hmm
groups. So
Yeah,
if those brothers would have orchestrated robbing both of them, but making both groups think the other group did it would have put them in a perfect situation to get out of Chicago. And of course, they had to go back home because where else were they gonna go?
yeah,
Wow. Wow, that's just. And you say Buddy Guy was forgiven, blessed, and validated by his father. Then the movie. Oh, you mean his father in the church? Oh, so he was protected over. You mean when he came back? Are you saying like that when he had come back after that crazy night? He had been prayed over by his father. Yeah, and evil does take over fast. Because when you think about it, in one night, Sammy went drinking, being with a woman that he really ain't know from a can of paint. Think about it. To fighting vampires, to unaliving folks. Like Sammy did a lot in one freaking night. And Pop was telling him, like, yo, that music is going to be a problem. And in that one night, he did all of that in that one night. And that's why I said I was still surprised that he didn't drop the guitar. Because the fact that you made it out, I'm not sure I would have still done music. You know? Because I would have been like, that shit is going to attract the things that I don't. But now that I say it out loud, the music could have also been the thing to attract protection for him. It could have been the thing that every time he did his music, it called the good ancestors to protect and crowd around him and protect him from evil things. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm going, I've got to watch this movie again. I'll probably watch it again tomorrow. I really enjoyed it. How many of the sins did he commit? Shoot, almost all of them. He was greedy. He
Lustful.
was, you said what was that?
Lust.
Yeah, he was lusting. He was, was he gambling? I don't
Well,
know.
would that be covenant? Well, covenant a man's wife. What is it? So I forgot all of them, but
Hold on, look, I'm about to look. I'm gonna look him up right now because I don't know either. Look, I don't know them all by heart. Look, I haven't seen Seven in a long time, so.
oh, seven deadly sins:
So it says
greed,
pride,
gluttony, pride.
right? And so he thought he was really great at playing the blues. So greed, excessive desire for material wealth or possessions. He wanted to get out of, the fields and doing all of that stuff. Then we talked about the lust, then envy. He had a lot of I wouldn't say you could call it jealousy, but it wasn't jealousy like in a bad way. Like he would hurt somebody to have what they had, but he was envious of his cousins.
Yes, yes,
He
definitely.
wanted to be like them. He did. Gluttony, he was overindulging that night in doing any and everything in the woman, in the libations, in just the whole scene. Wrath, I don't know. It says intense and uncontrolled anger or hatred. I don't know if he ever got
I don't
it.
think he got to that one.
Yeah, I don't know if he had it. And sloth, the laziness, avoidance of work or duty. I don't think
Well,
he ever
maybe with
got
the church. Was it with the church? Wasn't his daddy
the
complaining that he
sloth.
wasn't? Yeah, like he wasn't doing
Yeah,
something.
that's true. That's true. That's true. You're right. That is true. That's absolutely true. I hadn't thought about that. And then he kind of had wrath when you think about it when Smoke had talked to him and he said he was going to leave and move to this whole other place and he was like, you can't preach to me about my life, or it might have been Stack before Stack died or something, but remember he said you can't preach to me about my life or whatever, or
Hmm.
tell me nothing, this, that, and other. He wasn't really like angry, but he was annoyed. But yeah, it makes you wonder. But that night, Sammy touched on almost every single one of them sins that night. If Sammy would have died that night, he would have taken his last breath going, I had the time of my life.
Hey, at least he would have went out with a bang.
Right. Because he, remember when he said he had the best time of his life
Hmm.
before the sun went down that night. He
Yes.
said it. He said everything was fine until the sun went down. And it was like, yeah, because this everything popped off once darkness hit. Once it got dark, that's when those vampires were like, okay, well now let's try to get into this place where because again he wanted to get to Sammy. Everything was about getting to Sammy, and that's what Sammy was. But I just say again, bravo. I mean, that was now I've heard a rumor about they're gonna make another one.
Well, he said, Ryan Coogler, he said he's not doing another one. But I've been seeing stuff where people were saying Warner Brothers, I think that's who did it, said they were
Mm.
going to do a second one with or without him. And I'm like, it's not going to be the
Oh,
same.
they shouldn't.
So,
They shouldn't. It's not one. It's one of those things that they shouldn't try to make it like True Blood. You know what I mean?
yeah, everything doesn't need a part two or whatever.
It
Just let it
doesn't.
be good. Let it be good on its own.
And just leave it alone. You know what it is? Hollywood want to do what's easy. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's
Yeah,
just
what
it.
with all these remakes and stuff they're doing
Yep.
and all that
Just do
stuff.
original stories. I love the fact that this was an original story. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know these characters. I had to take out the time to get to know people and get invested in their story. Hollywood, just take the time to tell stories that people care about, and we will watch the movies. I guarantee
Yeah.
it, but you've got to give us stories that we actually care about. That's the catch. And that's where I think Hollywood tends to suffer. The stories get rather boring, and it's one of the reasons why we tend to watch the same things over and over, because those at least those stories are good. Yeah, you've seen it before, but at least it's good. At least it's entertaining. You can't say the same thing about this new stuff. So,
Yeah, I went into the movie kind of how you did. Like, I didn't watch any trailers. I just heard everybody
mm,
saying that it was really good. So when I went in, I didn't know what to expect. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah, that was me, and I'm glad I didn't know a whole lot, because I think if I would have known more, it would have kind of ruined the experience for me. So I appreciated being able to watch it knowing something, but not knowing enough where it ruined it. It was like I knew just enough, but I didn't know how it was gonna play into everything. Cause I was like, okay, I think they vampires, I think they zombies, but I don't really understand how all of this is gonna tie in together. I don't get it. And then as it kept going, I was like, okay, I like this. I like the way that they're taking this approach. Yeah, you say like Love Jones. Yeah, it has some of those kind of components to it. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ryan Coogler, hats off again to another really great movie, a great story. I intend to watch it again. I love horror movies anyway. So for me, I was going to enjoy it if it was good, I was going to enjoy it because I love a good horror movie. And it's hard to find good, solid horror movies that aren't. But
Yeah.
see, I'm a girl. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. I love that damn movie. That movie is so entertaining to me. If it's on cable and I'm watching and I'm turning its channels and I see it's on cable, I'm going to watch it because it's entertaining to me. It's a good vampire movie.
Wasn't that a Quentin Tarantino movie?
He was.
Yeah,
That
he
and
gave he
that's a
gave
good movie.
Ryan Coogler a thumbs up for this movie too.
Ah, he did. Okay,
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
yeah, because I can see how it could have some From Dusk Till Dawn influences to it. It gave me in a couple of spots, not the whole movie, but in a couple of spots. I'm gonna tell y'all a vampire movie to check out that I saw on Netflix. Hold on, um, it was this vampire movie. Hold on. And I cannot remember the name of this damn movie. And this guy, it was so funny. That kind of. Thank you so much for the gifts. I might have to find it and tell you guys about it tomorrow if I can't find the title of it tonight. Um, but that's what it is. El Conde. Okay, I'm gonna put it. In the chat, so y'all can also see it in the chat. Okay, this damn movie is it's a good movie in terms of it's the story um of this vampire and no, that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's the movie. Okay, it's the story of this vampire. It's a dark comedy horror that imagines a parallel universe inspired. Um, let me go to Wiki because I can tell you exactly what it's about. It is about this soldier, this French soldier that's discovered to be a vampire. And people be trying to take him out. You know what I mean? Be trying to take him out, but they not any good at it, right? And so, of course, because he's a vampire, he's lived through so many different conflicts that have happened, including the French Revolution, right? He has faked his own death. He's gone to other countries. He's done tried to do everything so that people don't figure out that he's actually a vampire and that he's never going to die. That was a good movie. Check it out on Netflix. Yeah, I saw it on Netflix, Lambs. That movie cracked me the hell up. The funniest shit about when this dude is flying. Listen, it's the funniest shit ever. But I enjoyed it. It's a dark comedy, but it's a horror movie at the same time. So if you like those dark comedy movies where you can see some things that could be a little offensive if you are sensitive, then it's your type of movie, because that's my type of movie. But I enjoyed El Conde. That was a good movie. I just happened to see it in the Netflix queue one day, and I was like, you know what is that? Let me look at this, because the cover was making me laugh, and I enjoyed it. My husband even watched that with me. He was laughing his ass off. So we enjoyed that movie. That movie was a fun movie to watch. So, but I know that I'm going to watch Sinners again. I know that I'm going to watch this movie again. If I had to give it like out of 5 stars, I'm going to give this like, oof. Honestly, I would have to give it 5 stars. I would have to give it 5 stars. What would you give it, Living Life?
She said
5 stars.
Okay.
You say 5 stars?
Yep, 5 stars.
All right.
Yeah, I just don't have a way to ding it. I honestly, because the pacing was great. Just everything was it was just a really solid movie. I really don't have anything that I could say that, it was just the right amount of length. It wasn't too long, wasn't too short. To me, I thought it was a solid movie. I just thought it was a very solid movie. And thank you, Hollywood, for giving us something solid. Because, man, they send you so many bad movies that you get afraid to see good, take a chance on things. But this one, there were so many actors and actresses in this movie that I would love to see this person in other things too, because that's how much I enjoyed it. So I throw it. So if you have not seen Sinners, but you heard us have this conversation tonight, check it out. Because trust me, even if you haven't seen it and you heard this conversation, there's still a whole lot we didn't talk about, because it's just so much that happens in that movie that it's just not possible for us to touch on everything. Because it's so many little gems and pieces, and like I said, I'm going to watch it again. I just already know I'm going to watch it again. I can't wait to watch it again. And I'm probably going to watch it with one of the kids and say, listen, you got to watch this movie. You're going to enjoy it. Come on, watch it with me. Because I watched it by myself.
Another thing I heard people say was either one of the twins, I can't remember which one, they felt he probably had like PTSD or something, because every time it was like when it would get probably not want to say like overwhelming, he would always be like, I need a smoke, and the other twin will always be like, I got you, and roll him a cigarette. So kind of like to like calm his nerves or whatever. Because remember when they opened up, they were leaning on a car, and the one twin was doing the cigarette, and he passed it. And like throughout the movie, every time like it seemed overwhelming, he'd be like, I need a smoke, and then his other brother would roll it up.
He may have used it to calm his nerves.
But
the other brother didn't need it to calm his nerves, because he was the one that was impulsive.
Yeah.
Smoke was the one that was more strategic.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that Smoke tried to use moments like that to be able to calm himself, to think clearly. Because what did he say? Stack is not good about watching his own back.
Yeah.
He said that. He said, watch his back. Because he doesn't watch, he's not good about watching his own surroundings.
Hmm.
He told him that. He told him that. And then when you think about it, then he works with Mary to let them people in. Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Now that I think about it, saying it out loud, I'm like, your brother was saying you just don't have your head on a swivel. And he didn't. He was too busy focused on money
Hmm. Probably
and
women.
yep, and women. Money and
Yep.
women. Because they
Yep.
were
And
going
then,
to run out of money. Look, what did they say? Like 2 months? They had just had that discussion. That in
yeah,
2 months
because
they were going to run out of money.
the people were paying in, I guess at that time it was like a currency between the black people or whatever. Like it wasn't real money, but they spent it with other black people as money or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So he was like, we can't keep taking this. We need actual money.
Right. But unfortunately, they were set up to fail. The
Hmm.
black community. So that's, yep, wooden nickels. Yep, that's what they had. But then those vampires came and they had gold
Yep.
coins.
Hmm.
See, that was the big difference. And so that's what made it so tempting to draw, go pursue them. Because having gold coins is a big deal. Markedly different than having wooden nickels.
Yeah, because
So,
the people out there working the fields, they're not getting paid a lot of money. So like
nope.
Smoke was saying, it's like these people, this is their hard earned, money. They just want to be able to have a good time.
Yep. Yep. But because those twins, though, were running, they also needed to make money. So if at any point when those people that they stole from in Chicago figures things out and go
Right.
come to look for them, they needed to have money to get up and go and be gone. So they couldn't afford to be there and keep this place open and not make money. And that's what they kept reconciling with, because at the end of the day, they had to make money. If they didn't,
Yeah.
they were going to have a problem on their hands. Because when those people come looking for them and you ain't got money to run, uh-oh, like they say, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So, but I'm watching this movie again. I'll probably look at it again tomorrow. I loved it. Um, you know, First of all, Living Life, thank you for coming up on the panel tonight. I'm glad you watched. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. Um, you all, if you have not seen it, please take a moment to go see this movie. It's a really great movie. It's a great movie. And it ain't too many, we don't get as many great movies as we'd like to. So I think as long as we have an opportunity to have great movies with great writing, really great characters, great direction, great pacing, it was just really a really solid movie. I mean, just solid. And so if you want to see something that's solid, I would highly suggest looking at Sinners and taking a look at
Hmm.
it. Um, I thank you all for joining me tonight. You all know we're going to do our Sunday service tomorrow, and talk about, we can talk about a little bit of everything on Sunday. It doesn't have to just be politics. So we can dip our toes in multiple pieces of warm water tomorrow morning, like they say. But I thank you all for joining me. I thank you for all the likes, all the shares tonight, all the gifts tonight. I appreciate it. I really, really, really do. I'll probably do the Sunday service tomorrow about 9. Cause look, it's already 10:41. Like I gotta go in here and brush my teeth. By the time I get into bed, it'll be about 11. So I would say about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At the latest 9:30, but about 9. So I'll be on here early. But thank you all so much for the gifts. Thank you for everything. Thank you again, Living Life, for coming up on the panel and discussing the movie tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I want to tell you to have a wonderful and beautiful evening tonight, okay? And I'm going to tell you like I always tell you, don't let nobody live rent free in your head, y'all. Don't feed the trolls. and you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as you stay consistent. Don't forget to check out Patreon, Spotify, YouTube. We had another episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast drop yesterday, so check it out. Thank you for coming to the discussion as well. So thank you so much, Wendy. And also want to let you know, TikTok is continuing to change their rules on the platform. So slowly over time, what you guys are going to start to see is, yeah, I'm going to have TikTok lives, but we're going to have like a filtered live on TikTok, and then it's a separate live event that happens a little like the first hour of a filtered live on TikTok, and then that second hour of unfiltered live happens on Patreon. Because ultimately, in order to be able to have discussions, we're not even allowed to play copywritten music or sing copywritten music anymore in lives. Like TikTok is changing. So knowing that, I think it's important to continue to explore other platforms. So I'll keep you guys posted. Just check out the Patreon for information. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you tomorrow morning. I will see you in the morning. Have a great, beautiful, and wonderful evening, you guys. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.